I'm standing here in the Basilica of St. Augustine, where Holy Father Pope Leo XIV will be celebrating the Mass. And Father Fred, the rector of this Basilica, an Augustinian friar, right now will share with us the significance of the Basilica and the significance of the visit of the Holy Father Pope Leo XIV.
Now we are in the chapel of St. Augustine. This chapel we have dedicated to St. Augustine because we have this relic. And what is the history behind this basilica? It was built in 1881 up to 1900. And the reasons why it was built, it was to house the pilgrims who are going to Jerusalem, who could pass by here, and there was no church for them to worship. The second reason was to be able to honor St. Augustine. In fact, the bishop, Monseigneur Dupuche, who built this church or who had the vision to build it, he wanted to make it this place a complex in the sense of, first of all, having the church to worship, second, having the monastery for the friars of St. Augustine, then thirdly, having the house for the old people to house the poor or to host the poor people in the society, especially the aged, and lastly, to have the library whereby people can come and read about Augustine, read about the legacy of St. Augustine, what he wrote, and to form themselves intellectually, in fact. Therefore, this basilica was built for those reasons. Now, this basilica now is very important today. Why? Because it is the roundabout whereby many people come from different backgrounds, from different religions to come and visit here. And the most important thing they come and ask is the relic of St. Augustine. And this relic of St. Augustine was brought here in 1842. So it was brought here simply because when the French people came here in Algeria in 1830s, there was nothing. Therefore, it was important to have at least something representing St. Augustine in form of a relic, and is the bone of the right arm, the arm that wrote many books, over 200, the arm that wrote over 500 sermons and many letters that we know. Therefore, this relic reminds us that Augustine is with us. Augustine is someone who lived and existed, and really today we have his relic here. When Augustine died, the friars who were following the rule of Augustine flew to Europe due to Vandals who had come. Therefore, when it was in 1933, after so many attempts, first of all, 1491 in the general chapter, whereby there was initiative to come back here to Annaba, because the brothers were not there, they had flew to Europe and there was nothing here. So therefore, in 1933, what was started before came to be realized in form of the friars, the Augustinian friars, who came back here to Annaba, invited by Monseigneur Tienar, the bishop of this diocese, the Diocese of Constantine and Hippo. Therefore, up to that time, we have been existing up to now. As we are here in the community, we are three: Father Dominic, Father Leviticus, and I myself, Father Fred, that we live here to advance the legacy of St. Augustine, especially through our mission, through our prophetic living in community. Therefore, we have a library that serves the interests of those who want to be intellectually formed and those who are doing some studies on St. Augustine. And also we celebrate Mass for the small community that is here. And also we welcome people in this basilica of different origins, of different backgrounds, all equal to come and interact with us. Therefore, also we work in the diocesan administration to help the diocese in governing the church here in Algeria. Therefore, that is essentially what we do here. His Holiness Pope Leo XIV, who will come and celebrate Mass here in this Basilica for the first time. In fact, he came before as a prior general, but he didn't celebrate Mass. But this time round, he's coming to celebrate Mass here in this Basilica, and which I consider it as a Thanksgiving Mass. After his election as Pope, it's a Thanksgiving Mass, first of all to God, and then second, thanking also the people of Algeria, thanking us for our presence here, and also we shall accompany him to thank God for the gift of Saint Augustine in the church, because he has done so much, shaping the doctrines, even shaping the literature world. Remember, Augustine was the first one who wrote his autobiography. You see, he started it, and later on we have so many autobiographies. Therefore, he's a man really respected inside the church and outside. And he wrote so much about love. Yeah, in one of his commentaries on the book of on the gospel and on the letter of Saint John, he talks of love and do whatever you want. Love and help the other person. Love and look for the solution to the problems. Love and live in peace. Love and forgive. Love and dialogue, and then live in peace. Therefore, this basilica is very important as far as also the Holy Father is coming to visit. First of all, to give thanks. Second, to honor Saint Augustine because he's an Augustinian. Yeah, and then also to bring us the message of peace that Augustine really preached and wanted that it should be lived, not just to be talked about. Augustine talked about it, showed us the way, and exactly that is what His Holiness is coming. And then on this same issue, in order to advance also the interreligious dialogue. Remember, it's like I see it last year, the Pope was in the other side of the Mediterranean Sea. That is Turkey, yeah, and recently in Lebanon. But now he's coming to this side of the Mediterranean Sea and is kind of building the bridge through St. Augustine, so that we may have the good relationship also with the other side of the Mediterranean brothers and sisters. I want to push this his visit beyond interreligious dialogue, so that through St. Augustine we can have is a point of reference, is a bridge between the two worlds of Mediterranean, the other side and this side, so that we coexist in peace. That is very, very important. As he has ever mentioned it when he was coming from Lebanon, that his mission is to advance the message of peace. Peace through interreligious dialogue, peace through dialogues in families. And dialogue here for St. Augustine does not only mean a conversation, but it means that when you dialogue with someone, you are able to recognize the needs of the other person. Therefore, the needs are communicated and these needs are met. For example, a person who needs forgiveness will receive forgiveness because of that communication, not only just to dialogue for the sake of theological themes, but to live it in concrete life. Being an Augustinian, it feels so nice. Yeah. Now I want to share with you about this memorial plaque, whereby the restoration started in 2010 and ended in 2013. Even though some good work started before that, because planning, getting authorization started from all the way 2006 until 2010 that the work started. Now, in this memorial plaque, we have the name of the current Pope, who is Father Robert Prevost, by then as the Prior General, and his name is found here, and he came towards the end of the work. That was 2013. And he has come twice, but this was the second time he was coming as the Prior General of the Order of St. Augustine. So you can see we wrote this name, Reverend Father Prevost, Prior General of the Order of St. Augustine. So by then he was finishing, in fact, his term, because it ended 2013. Among other people who had come, as you can see, there were many. But I want just to highlight that he had come here in 2013 before the work was concluded to assist in this ceremony of inauguration in 2013. So it is very important that he comes back again as a pope. As a pope, it feels so nice. People who interacted with him, they want to see him again. And that is the beauty of knowing someone, because for us, when we know someone, we want to associate with that someone and again and again. So we welcome him to come again to celebrate Mass for us, because he has never celebrated Mass. Even 2 times he came here for us.
Thank you so much, Rector Father Fred, for your kind time and the message, the powerful message of peace and forgiveness you have given to the Goodness Television channel viewers. Thank you very much.